Dark Castle Chimps is relatively easy to most people, but what if we make it harder and make it so you can only use this little ledge on the side? You're going to have a lot of your placements be terrible with your mandatory engineer and dart start taking up all of this as it is, and with only medium and large towers, you are banned from getting crucial support like villages or getting a lot of really strong towers that do well globally like aces, for example. So this is going to be quite an insane challenge, but what if I said this was too easy and we need to make this harder? So in Chimps mode, you're going to be having your heroes and towers, and generally among the better players like me and I guess all of the other better players, we're often going to be using super high skill level heroes and using the most of it. So basically, normally your hero in a game of Chimps might be doing like 30% of the work, but when we're using these super high skill level heroes like Corvus, Geraldo, or Sai, and we're microing them and using them to the most of the capability, they're going to be doing more like 50% to nearly all of the damage. So like in this quick little example, Corvus was able to just destroy this round 98 with the support that I have up here. But when we take our hero out and we're playing this in a game of Chimps without a hero, it is a completely different story. This is not close, and there is no way with any amount of RNG or micro that this setup would win. So we're basically slashing half of our damage. So Dark Castle Chimps with the ledge only is very easy. I did this a long time ago in a video. It actually did pretty well, and I did a very basic sniper and Prince of Darkness strategy, but we had Sai in there, and Sai was doing a lot. For example, this round 100 without Sai would be nowhere close to happening, and let's not even try to mention round 98, where Sai took out most all of the BFBs with her Scream and passive attack. So let's go back into this without a hero and see how this goes. So first of all, let me tell you why this is so hard. And actually, I expected this to be very easy just because I've done this challenge before, and it was very, very simple with the hero. But without the hero, doing Dark Castle Chimps ledge only without the hero, that's going to be something else way, way harder than I ever expected. So yeah, here's some reasons why. Well, first of all, the hero is just so strong. Normally, you put down your hero and the hero is going to be doing a lot of work, but when you're very, very good at the game, you're going to be using lots of micro, lots of strategy. You're going to be picking out the high skill level heroes, where if you can know how to use the hero properly, they will do so much more damage than any other hero, or just by having that hero in place down. For example, Sai, you can time the abilities very well to scream pretty much all of the BFBs, get them all down, half of them will go away, and the passive will take the other half, and then pretty much the rest would just be pushed back. So Sai really can pretty much do all of the work on 98 if you can take out the ZOMGs alone, which is what I used in the previous strategy. But when we don't have that Sai, we're going to need to brute force all of round 98, and not to mention, Sai's also going to be doing a lot more on all of the other rounds, such as 100. The stun even is going to come in clutch on round 99. The ceramic cleanup when you have Sai on first, all of that stuff. Now that we know that we're practically going to have to brute force all of that, it's very reassuring to know that it is going to be very, very difficult to get all of the damage needed on this, because all of the placements quite literally suck. Your support is just down the drain. You can't get villages, so you can't get discounts to save money. You can't get drums just to get that 15% buff that you pretty much always have in any other Chimps game. And with this, you're kind of out of it. Your towers by default are going to have half the range, if not worse, and they're not going to be able to use Pierce well. The two really good spots that you have on this map are going to be taken up by the mandatory start with that dart and engineer, and you really can't do any big save ups because the heroes are really crucial for save ups. Normally, even on expert maps, true expert maps like Ouch and Quad, I'd be able to do a $60,000 save up, even beyond that, getting those super expensive tier 5s. But on this, without a hero and pretty bad placements and all that stuff, good luck trying to do that. So there were a whole bunch of strategies that I kind of looked at and played around with. A few of them that I tried out in a game, sometimes even several times. This challenge took me a very long time. And I came up with some good strategies. So I'm showcasing in this video one of the ones that I did previously. It went pretty well, but it didn't quite make it. And the winning solution, that's way at the end. I only was able to record the last 2 rounds because I was pretty much doing it off camera, and I won, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I finally won. So unfortunately, I don't have all the video of that, but a lot of these runs were very similar, so it kind of gets the same idea. The strategy that I was going for was using some sort of cleanup tower that's going to be able to deal damage past what tiny range we're going to be limited with. So when it comes to the rules, sub towers are not allowed, so you can't have like an orca, for example, or like T-Rex like just go past and be able to deal damage. But we can try to get some projectiles that kind of float and last off the screen, or infinite range like the sniper, for example. Sadly, sniper spam not even close to working, so don't say I should have just placed a bunch of snipers. So I'm really going to be mainly looking at the Spirit of the Forest and the Prince of Darkness. I also got some really close attempts with Bloon Solver. Sadly, it just came a little bit short. But these towers, they have great cleanup, which really is what I need. There's pretty much no possible cleanup, and without support, normally you have like support really pushing the cleanup together, but with no support and no good placements for like ice monkeys or a tornado druid or a balloon impact, you really needed to have all of your power in support. And then round 100, you need a ton of round 100 DPS to come in and get that too. In the winning run, I did use the Spirit of the Forest and the Prince of Darkness together. The approach was a little bit different from here. I did have my Plasma Accelerator taking out the mid-game, and I used the Plasma Accelerator over the bads because it has enough Pierce to actually take out like round 63, which was a huge issue before and stuff. It had a very easy early game because it also could take out round 40, which again, I had a huge issue with before that too. And it does pretty well in the late game too. It can do some damage to round 100. It can take out ZOMGs pretty well and grouped Moabs, stuff like that, that other towers definitely have struggles with. Definitely worked a lot better than the bads did. So in this run, I have the Plasma Accelerator saving up into the Prince of Darkness. In my winning solution, I went straight for the Spirit of the Forest because that one's a more expensive tower. It's going to be harder to save up into. So I went straight for that one first, not wasting any money in the process because I needed all of that money if I wanted to even win in the first place. So we got that up pretty well. And then after that, Prince of Darkness came pretty handily. And then I needed to get what little support I could get, and that pretty much consisted of alch buffs. So normally you have a lot of support to like slow and stall everything, and then you have some support to like increase your damage. And what I really don't have here at all is any like slower stall. You can't really get anything. I guess the main Moab is the best that we have here, but that is barely enough to really have a good strategy and a good synergy. So like all of our glues and boomerang Moab presses, they aren't going to have the range. They aren't going to be able to hit the Moabs where they're really going to be pushing them back well. Instead, they're just going to be pushing back the few Moabs that are leaking. So we're really not going to be able to do that. That's not an option. And we're going to have to brute force everything, which works really well on the beginner maps on Chimps. But if you are good at the game, you know that you can't really beat these hard maps just by brute force damaging, especially when all of your brute force damage is in really bad placements. So it's definitely a huge issue. Took a lot of optimizations and a lot of thoughts, a lot of skill to get through this one. So now we're going on to Super Ceramics. Super Ceramics are the bane of my existence this run. Even with just one of them, they can slip by the Spirit of the Forest very easily and kill you. So that was not that fun. But our alchemists, we're going to be getting them up the little damage that we can get just to help our towers do a bit more damage. But yeah, so now round 100 is a lot of a concern because you really are going to need the brute force damage, which I guess you have a lot of, but it's not the right one because it's all cleanup damage, and for round 100 you need like raw damage. So basically cleanup was like the number one issue. You could not beat any of these rounds, and I needed a lot of cleanup. So I have 2 cleanup tier 5s, the opposite type of damage that you're going to need for round 100. So I need to pretty much now get exclusively a lot of raw round 100 damage. So I got Cripple Moab, which as of recently is actually more of a damage tower than anything. It does a ton of single target damage and will absolutely shred the bad. Not really enough. So that was where that run dead ended. This is one of the solver runs, and then after that I think comes the winning solution. But the Cripple Moab was able to take out the DDTs well and the bad, and it just ended up working finally. This crazy mess, yeah. I'm just going to leave it off of that. I'm going to play some pretty epic music, and you can see some of the last attempts and the winning solution go. And if you want to try this for yourself, go ahead. I did this with some other friends, Yeetus and Tim. They're both very, very good players. Yeetus is actually the one that suggested this challenge. But yeah, pretty similar solutions, a little bit different though. And if you can find something that's different, go ahead and post it in my Discord. Show me. That would be pretty cool. But here's the music, and enjoy the last few attempts and the winning solution. Thanks for watching. If you want to help out the channel, you can check out these new videos, like and subscribe for more content, support the channel by becoming a member, and joining the Discord to chat with the community. Bye!